Many of us could make our way into the 90s this afternoon, but with fall just 10 days away, this could very well be our last time reaching temps that high. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mark Charter. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's check in with meteorologist Henry Blakes for an early look at today's hot forecast. Hey, Henry. North Dakota lawmakers tell our Washington Bureau's Peter Zampa the president's tax vision is just what North Dakotans need. Others say it's harmful. Take a look. Governor Doug Burgum has ordered that flags on state properties be flown at half-staff today to honor those who were killed in the September 11th, 2001 terrorist attacks. We begin today with a historic announcement from the Boy Scouts, breaking from a century-old policy. Absolutely, Kurt. Thank you. Okay, let's look a little bit deeper into that now. Hurricane Irma is picking up steam. Well, it's been a whirlwind few days for new Miss America, Cara Mund, as the 23-year-old Bismarck native was the first Miss North Dakota to win the title Sunday night. But it will be a while before she brings the crown home. It was one of the most anticipated tech announcements of the whole year. Yesterday afternoon, Apple unveiled not one, but 3 new iPhone models. Plus, it's a busy day in Washington as senators consider several of President Trump's cabinet nominees. But first,
this is with respect to the construction of the Dakota Access Pipeline.
We begin this afternoon with breaking news out of Washington. President Donald Trump signed multiple executive orders this morning that will allow construction to continue on the Keystone XL and Dakota Access pipelines. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mark Charter. Bo Evans joins us now from the protest camp with details on what this means for us. Bo, good afternoon.
Take away the coverage.
Okay, David, just about 30 seconds here. What about purchasing insurance? You know, how do you feel about doing something online? How do you feel about going to an actual insurance adjuster themselves? What are your thoughts on that? Kayla, for people who go to this event, what would you like them to take away with it, or what are they ideally supposed to take away from it? And here's some cool fun fact about her. She was actually voted most likely to be Miss America when she was in high school, and she just won.
That's awesome.
So it's really cool. Are you getting teary-eyed right now?
No, but she was so happy.
She's like a beauty queen too. It's cute. No. All right, hey, why don't we check on the weather with Kurt? He's joining us now for an early look at that this half an hour. Kurt, good morning. Cool. I still call my mom almost every day.
Good for you.
Almost every day. But again, it's different when you're an only.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you've got 3.
There's a lot riding on you.
Yes, lots
How
riding.
How do you feel about that, Mark? We got to get Mark a little bit. We got to get him a little therapy.
I've gotten good at it over the years, so I don't know. It's okay. Hey, coming up next on North Dakota Today, folks.
Up and stolen.
Here's the deal, though. If you've got a nice garden like that and you're watching right now, you know how expensive it is to start up, to maintain. Why?
Yeah,
go to the greenhouse and buy your own plant.
Well, go find the guy with the nicest garden and in the neighborhood. And then you'll find the plant. And there goes the fire alarm. Okay.
And you know, what you can see here today is kind of a far cry from what it once was. Let's check in with Beth Tooney, Melanie Carvel, the co-chairs of the Great American Bike Race. You guys, so good to be here. Thank you for having us. What's going through your minds today? Beth, let's start with you. So back in 2007, Jacob Vetter was actually a Gabber star, and he's remained in the spotlight because he's a pretty prolific fundraiser. Jacob, what's your favorite part about being at Gabber?
Just the people that I see and stuff.
Every year, the Great American Bike Race selects 2 children to be one of the main focal points of the event. They serve as ambassadors for the race and offer some inspiration to families who have children suffering from cerebral palsy. This morning, we're going to introduce you to one of those incredible kids. Let's meet Gabber star Elijah Purdue. He can sing. He can dance.
You want me to show him how I do some monkey movements?
And like most 9-year-old boys, he's got a slew of jokes up his sleeve.
What did say when a monkey ate bananas?
However, what makes Elijah Purdue a little different from other kids is that he suffers from cerebral palsy.
Kind of a surprise.
And what a surprise it was. After Elijah was born, he spent 4 months in the NICU, basically just trying to survive.
He was on oxygen until he was 8 months old. Had some vision issues with his retinas and stuff. So he had his first surgery at 2.5 months and his second one at 3 months while he was in the NICU still.
But when you've got a personality that can light up a whole room,
thank you for this microphone,
along with some good manners to boot, it makes it easier on everyone trying to make a dark situation a little bit better.
When we have new doctor appointments and I tell him about him, he says, oh, I get to make new nurse friends.
And speaking of doctor appointments,
1, 2, 3, stop.
Elijah comes to therapy a couple times a week.
We're really working a lot on his ability to control how he gets up and down from a seated position to standing, standing on his own. Stand up and get your balance.
Working towards the ultimate goal of becoming more mobile.
So when he's at home and he's older, he can make a sandwich for himself at the counter, you know, take a few steps over to the table.
No question, there will be some tough times ahead.
He just has taken everything in stride, every surgery, every difficulty, every challenge.
But when you've got those traits in your back pocket,
I'm gonna try again.
you've got the recipe for some success. For NBC North Dakota News, I'm Mark Charter.
You're doing great.
And you know, when you think back on the 2011 flood, it's pretty easy to forget just how many people, places, and things were affected. This morning, I'll bring you to the Dakota Zoo to show you how in just 36 hours, hundreds of animals were captured, accounted for, and evacuated to safety. When you're in charge of an entire zoo and you get word that soon your property could be under, let's say, 6 feet of water, you move pretty fast.
I made exactly one phone call to another zoo person in South Dakota. He stepped in and organized. The next morning we had 5 zoos here with stock trailers, with capture equipment, and we began evacuating the zoo animals.
Lincoln says the speed and accuracy of the animal evacuation happened because of 300+ volunteers.
I think we had about 40,000 sandbags.
The power of social media.
Put out a Facebook message, just, you know, hey, looking for help.
And this little brown book.
My little flood Bible here, which I still have, we kept track of, okay, where are the tigers going? Where are the snow leopards going? Who has the mountain lions? That sort of thing, because it was just chaos.
The 2011 flood was expected to bring tons of water into the Dakota Zoo, but thanks to modern equipment, that water never came.
We were actually pumping about 1 million gallons of water back to the river just to keep the zoo from flooding.
The building behind me wasn't actually here in 2011, and neither was this hill. Zoo employees had to build up in order to prevent future flooding from happening. And keep in mind, the zoo evacuation couldn't have come at a worse time.
About $200,000 is what we were out in lost revenue.
Warm weather means big money for places like the Dakota Zoo, and without any animals to look at, there's no reason for people to come. But thanks to an endowment fund started by the zoo 15 years ago, some of that lost money could be recovered.
The endowment fund was able to replace that money and keep us afloat.
As season 55 gets underway at the Dakota Zoo, employees say they're even more prepared than ever before. And hopefully, an ARC won't be needed anytime soon. For NBC North Dakota News, I'm Mark Charter.